Should have been wearing this. Phillies lose 5-4 to the Atlanta Braves. And what do I talk about? What do I talk about? Am I going to talk about how the starting pitching got iffy again? Are we going to talk about how the Phillies couldn't hit off the Braves bullpen again? Are we going to talk about how basically top heavy the Phillies offense is again? Or are we going to talk about the fact that the Phillies made another crucial defensive mistake which costed them again? You could literally carbon copy paste last night's game into tonight, and that could sum up everything with slightly better offense and the slightest bit of better pitching. Yeah, Zach Eflin didn't have a great game. He kept them in the game. They did. I felt like there was things going right that game. But once again, no offense against the Braves. Between Sean Newcomb, Will Smith, and Tyler Batzik, I think that's how you say it, they got one hit off of them. You're not winning a game if you can only get one hit. And no walks, mind you, 0. And I know it's too early to bitch and say, oh, send someone down to the minors, make a desperate trade. I just watched the Yankees game where they just came back and won when it was tied, when they were down 4-3, and they won 8-4. And the big catalyst for that was Rougned Odor, who they got in a trade. And they closed it out with Albert Abreu, a guy who they called up by sending down Herman, who struggled. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking they just have a void in the bullpen because Vince Velasquez takes up human air and David Hale is dog shit. And they're just wasting space on the roster. Or the fact that Roman Quinn still can't hit a ball to save his damn life. I could talk about the play that happened, and I'll briefly talk about it right now. And this is the big thing I'm going to talk about. So it's 4-4. Archie Riley comes in the 7th inning, doesn't do a good job, but that whole 7th inning was just painful to watch. It got iffy because Bradley messed up twice, giving up a double to Adrianza. Great, that name came back and made me want to cry again. And then Acuna gets a single. They get a lucky break because Albies hits a foul out, and Alec Boehm is just running. What is he doing? Honestly, look at this image here. Do you take Andrew McCutchen, who is running in, who is the outfielder? He's going to have a better arm, and he's going to be in the better position to throw it because he's running downfield. Or do you take B, Alec Boehm, who's running the opposite direction, who's going to be backwards facing the runner, who's going to be flat-footed and not going to have a good chance of making the throw? If you take B, you're correct, and that's not the right answer. But they got bailed out. For some reason, Adrianza didn't go. Had he gone, he would have scored. But that just made the next play even more painful. So Bradley comes out, Alvarado comes in, he gets a ground out, and look. I don't know what his thought process was going through. If you look at this, Alvarado had a clear-cut play. You just throw home. Even if Adrianza gets a rundown and gets out of it, I wouldn't have been as angry. He doesn't even bother to look at third base. You know, the player that matters the most in a tied game when you are the big catalyst to keep them in the game. It was the most boneheaded, brain-dead thing I've seen in my life. And it came off in the night when they already had an awful defensive night because Alec Boehm had 2 errors the night before and almost costed them a run the very play before. Now look, anger aside, bitching aside, there was some good things. Like I said, while Zach Eflin was not great, he did the big thing that Phillies pitching needed to do, was keep them in the game. And outside of that boneheaded mistake by Alvarado, the bullpen did great. But I can't look at any of that because every single loss this year has come from the fact that they have done dumb, goofy, and stupid things. Via the fact that Vince Velasquez can't throw a strike over the plate, or how the Phillies defense prolapsed in the second game that basically made him give up after getting slapped around, or a game like tonight where you literally have a ground out to the pitcher and they score. They lose in the most painful, frustrating, agonizing ways possible. You could literally rename the P for pain on this team. But I'm going to wrap it up there. Because that loss made me very, very angry. Because it's just another example of them blowing it. Like they've been doing for 9 years. I'm going to get out of here. They're playing tonight. It's Matt Moore against Drew Smiley. So here's hoping Philly wins. But with that out of the way, I'm going to get out of here. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and peace.